So we're going to start our practice as we normally do by taking a moment to switch our hat and tap into our breath. So come into whatever comfortable seated position you'd like to start our practice in a meditation pose. You can, of course, come down onto your back. If you do that, let's go ahead and keep the knees up to the sky, soles of the feet on the mat, so we're not letting ourselves slip into a full relaxation or sleep just yet. Otherwise, we'll close our eyes, and as we do, inhaling through the nose down into the belly, exhaling, belly button draws back to the spine, shoulders start to drop away from the ears. If sitting in this position is difficult or uncomfortable, you can always bring yourself up onto a folded blanket or a pillow, elevating the hips above the knees, helping to lengthen the spine and lift out of the pelvis. So yesterday was our favorite day of spring. Just kidding. Daylight savings time, the time change. Messing with our sleep, messing with our internal clocks. Still, I'm not entirely sure why we participate in this practice still. However, it is what it is. And the result is usually disrupted sleep schedules for at least a couple of days. So today, we're going to do a more energizing practice, helping to bring some awakeness and energy to the body, but also some resting postures that promote restful sleep. I wanted to incorporate this into our practice today, knowing that it was the day after daylight savings time, but this theme was amplified and solidified with my morning. Waking up late for my children's school. And not just a little bit late, like school starting and my eyes were opening at the same moment. So as we think about sleep and rest and bringing energy to the body, also try to bring a little grace to your movements, thought process, giving yourself some loving kindness and forgiveness, not feeling guilty about letting the body rest. Let's take 5 more breath cycles here in our meditation, trying to make your exhales longer than your inhales. And after your last exhale, we'll gently open the eyes. Before we start moving, we're going to practice a few breathing techniques or pranayama that you can use throughout your day or on times when you're feeling some low energy and you need to have a little bit of a wake up to the body. So the first one that we're going to participate in is alternate nostril breathing. So we'll bring the dominant hand, whatever hand you write with, out in front of you. We draw the forefinger, the middle finger down to the palm. So the ring finger and the pinky are still upright and thumb is pointed outward. If this is uncomfortable on the pinky finger, maybe you've got really tight tendons in the hands, you work with your hands a lot, whether doing manual labor or on a computer, you can bring the ring finger down to the palm as well, making it a little bit more comfortable. So the first thing that we're going to do is take the pinky to the left nostril, completely blocking and plugging the left nostril. We inhale through the right nostril and exhale through the right nostril, just to begin clearing out that pathway. And then we tap in to the rhythm. So inhale through the right nostril, hold the breath at the top of the inhale. We release the left nostril, plug the right nostril with the thumb, and exhale through the left nostril. Stay here for the inhale. So we inhale through the left nostril. Hold the breath at the top of the inhale. Switch the fingers, plug the left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Switch. Exhale through the right. Take a few more rounds on your own. Take one more round after you finish the one that you're on. And we end with an exhale through the right nostril. Release the hands and take a few breaths normally through both nostrils. And notice how that feels. Next pranayama that we're going to practice is half of square breathing. So normally this pranayama or the full pranayama is called kumbhaka, which is square breathing, practicing breath retention. We are only going to retain the breath after the inhale, making it Anattara Kumbhaka. So it will go like this. We'll inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3. We'll hold the breath for the same count, the same 3 count, and a slow exhale for the 3 counts, and immediately jumping back into the inhale. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to practice holding or retaining the breath. So when we inhale and hold the breath, we're not lifting the shoulders up here. We're not having a tightness in the chest. We're not trying to control or lift that inhale. But when we inhale and hold the breath, we let the belly soften like we do in our yogic breathing. Let the ribs soften, the shoulders drop down and soften. So this should not be a forceful holding, but more of just a natural pause. So hands come down to the knees. Here we go. We inhale for 1, 2, 3. Hold the breath for 1, 2, 3. Slow exhale for 1, 2, 3. Right back in. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Retain the breath for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Retain the breath for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Retain the breath. 1, 2, 3. Slow exhale for 1, 2, 3. 2 more rounds. So inhale for 1, 2, 3. Hold the breath for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. Last one. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Retain the breath. 1, 2, 3. Slow exhale for 1, 2, 3. Big inhale. And let the breath return to normal. So doing this helps wake up the energy. You can always do this in the opposite direction by holding after the exhale only, which will help to bring down high energy. So if you're having trouble sleeping, you can do this before bed, retaining after the exhale. Let's take one more collective breath here together. Exhale, and we're going to roll onto all fours. So if you want to get there by rolling through the ankles, that's great. Otherwise, you can throw the legs off to the side and come to all fours that way. So when we get here, set ourselves up for success. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips. We're pressing away from the yoga mat, so we're lifting out of the shoulder joint, not dumping any pressure. We're pressing down firmly through the tops of the feet or the toes if you have them curled under. Belly button's drawn up to the spine to protect the low back. Gaze is straight down. So we're going to start by warming up the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, still pressing away from the yoga mat. Exhale, we round through, really pulling the tail towards the belly button, exaggerating that dome in the chest, dropping the crown towards the earth. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, we round through. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, round through, really tuck in the tail. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, we round through. Let's do one more round here. So inhale, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale, we round through. Inhale brings us back to our tabletop position. We inhale, right arm swings out laterally to our side. And on the exhale, we're dropping right hand, right arm underneath the left armpit and coming down onto our right shoulder and right ear. So here we keep the knees right above the hips. If this is uncomfortable, you can always adjust by bringing the hips back down to the heels and taking your threaded needle that way. Otherwise, today we'll stay elevated. Left arm can either be reaching out towards the front of the mat. Hand can be right in front of the face, squared off at the shoulder. Or if you're looking for a little shoulder and chest opening, you can take a bind around the low back, bringing the palm of the left hand on top of the right thigh. We're pressing into the feet to keep our legs firm, hips right above the knees. And we're pressing into the top of the right hand, helping to lift out of the shoulder joint and open the chest. We're here for one more breath cycle. And on the exhale, we press into the left hand, bringing us back up to our tabletop position, and we take it to the other side. So left arm swings out laterally. Exhale, we drop it underneath the right armpit as we come down onto the left shoulder, left ear, finding the hand placement of our right arm, either out towards the front, squared off, palm in front of the face, or taking a bind around the low back. One more inhale. Exhale, we use our right hand to press us back up onto all fours. Big toes come together, knees come as wide as the yoga mat. We sink the hips back onto the heels and start to melt the belly, chest, and forehead down to the mat. Extended child's pose. This is a great one to do before bed, promoting restful sleep, helping to bring down the blood pressure and tap into that relaxation response. Stay for the inhale, and on the exhale, hips stay nice and heavy. We walk both hands off the left side of the mat, waking up the side body. Stay for the inhale. Exhale walks you back through center. Stay nice and low. We take it to the other side. Exhale draws you back through center, and we press into our feet to bring us back up to tabletop position. Knees come back underneath the hips. We curl the toes under. Stay for the inhale. Exhale fuels our movement as we take the hips up high, downward facing dog. Stay for one more inhale. And exhale, we'll make our way to the top of the mat. So however you want to get there is up to you. You can take a crisscross walk, or maybe you just take slow steps. Maybe you hop up to the front if that's in your practice, or one large step. And we meet ourselves in forward fold, Uttanasana. Maybe take some gentle sways if that feels good. This is another great one to do before bed, helping to promote restful sleep. So any position where we're bringing the head below the heart space is going to promote restful sleep. Excuse me. So forward folds, extended child's pose, downward dog, legs up the wall, where you bring the bum flush up against the wall, sending the legs straight up the wall. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we slowly roll our way up to mountain, palms kiss together and descend. At the heart space, we're going to move through our sun salutations with just a small variation here. So we inhale, arms go down to come up, but instead of kissing the palms together, we're going to keep them nice and wide. Maybe you flip the palms externally so that they're facing away from the face. We bend at the knees and swan dive forward into our forward fold. Inhale lifts you up halfway. Exhale, fold. Palms come down to the mat, left foot back, right foot back. Everything else will stay the same that we normally do. So we inhale to shift forward onto the toes. Exhale lowers us halfway. Elbows are tight to the side body. Inhale, we flip the feet. Pressing into the fingertips, we open the chest for upward facing dog. Exhale, we're moving from the center, sending the hips up high, rolling right through the ankles to downward facing dog. Stay for the inhale. Exhale fuels your movement, stepping you up to the top of the mat, root to rise. We roll up to mountain, palms kiss together, descend at the heart space. Excuse me. So here we go. Arms go down to come up. Hands stay nice and wide. Maybe flip externally as we swan dive forward. Uttanasana. Inhale lifts you up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Plank. Shift forward. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, we flip the feet, open the chest, upward facing dog. Exhale, lifting from the center. Downward facing dog. Stay for the inhale. Exhale sends you up to the top of the mat. Root to rise, palms kiss together, down at the heart space. Go ahead and flow on your own. Let's do 4 more rounds together, moving at your own pace. Adding or omitting anything that does or does not serve you. We're just warming up the body. See if you can find a nice flow, maybe closing the eyes, forcing yourself to feel your way through the movements instead of seeing your way through them. Or I guess it's seeing in a different way, seeing with the body. Last one. And when you finish your last one, we'll meet in downward dog for 3 breath cycles, full inhales, full exhales, letting the low back release. Excuse me. Awesome. So left foot comes to the midline. We inhale, lifting the right leg up high. We bend the right knee, drawing the toes over towards the left side of the mat, shining the pelvis towards the right. Arms are long and strong. Exhale, we step the right foot up in between the hands. We're in lunge. Inhale, and on the exhale, we're powering into that front foot, lifting us up. The high lunge, and then we settle. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, left hand comes to the outside of the right knee as we draw the right arm towards the back edge of the mat. If that's uncomfortable or feels impossible, you can always keep the right hand on the hip or maybe the low back. Inhale, we square back off. High lunge. Arms drop behind us in space. We interlace the fingers right at the tail. Loop the shoulders, drawing the fingers down towards the earth, opening the chest, gaze draws up towards the ceiling. Exhale, we start to bend at the hips, drawing the belly towards the right thigh, looking out past the right toes. Inhale, exhale, we gently, with control, release the arms, swinging them back up, high lunge, and then we pivot on the back foot, opening up to warrior two. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, back arm drops, front arm lifts, peaceful warrior. Exhale, we make our way to extended side angle, your version. So you can either bring forearm to the thigh, right hand right by the right inner arch, or if you want to take a bind behind the legs, if that's in your practice, you can do that too. Left arm's either up towards the ceiling or towards the front of the mat. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, rotates you. To frame the foot, we draw the right foot back to meet the left, meeting back in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg kicks up high. We bend the knee, opening the pelvis over towards the left, drawing the toes towards the right. Exhale, we step the left foot up. We're in lunge, find your placement. Inhale, exhale, powers us up to high lunge. So find your placement and then settle. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Left arm reaches to the back edge of the mat or stays on the hip or maybe just stays on the low back. Inhale, both arms come back up as we square off to the front of the mat. Arms drop behind us in space on the exhale, interlacing the fingers, maybe taking the opposite thumb on top this time. We loop the shoulders, drawing them back and open. Fingers reach down towards the earth. Chest is wide open. Exhale, we draw the belly towards the left thigh, looking out past the front of our mat. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we release the arms, swinging back up and opening to warrior two. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, your version. Exhale, peaceful warrior. And exhale, we pivot. Framing the foot, left foot comes back to meet the right in downward facing dog. We're going one more time on each side. Left foot comes to the midline. Inhale, right leg kicks up high, and we open the pelvis over towards the right. Exhale, step it up. We're in lunge. Inhale. Exhale, powers you up to high lunge. Arms come with us up overhead. Biceps are by the ears. Inhale to grow tall in the spine. Exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand behind us in space. Inhale. Exhale, swings the arms back. We square off into high lunge. Arms drop behind us. Interlace the fingers. Inhale to loop the shoulders. Exhale, drawing the fingers down towards the earth. Slight back bend here. Chest is open. Exhale, we bend at the hips, belly to thigh as we gaze out towards the front of our mat. Neck is nice and long. Inhale. Exhale, we release the arms, swinging back up into high lunge, opening into warrior two. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, your version. Exhale, we power back up to peaceful warrior. Exhale, we rotate, drawing that right foot back to meet the left. Right foot comes to the midline. Last time on this side. Inhale, left leg up high. We bend the knee, open the pelvis. Exhale, we step it up. We're in lunge. Adjust your footing if you need to. Check your alignment on your knee above the ankle. Inhale, exhale, we rise, high lunge. Squeezing the inner thighs together for stability. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, right hand to left knee. Left arm towards the back edge of the mat, on the hip or the low back. Exhale, we swing the arm back, squaring off. Inhale to grow tall. Arms drop behind us in space, interlace the fingers, loop the shoulders, drawing the fingers down towards the earth, chest is open. Exhale, belly to thighs, we gaze over the front of the mat. Inhale, exhale, we release the arms, swinging back up into high lunge, and then pivoting on the back foot, opening into warrior two. Inhale to shift forward, exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, pivot. Draw the left foot back to meet the right. We're here for 2 breath cycles. Inhale. Exhale, maybe out through the mouth, or maybe a forceful exhale. And after your next exhale, we shift the upper body forward, bringing the shoulders over the wrists in plank. We're bringing the right knee behind the right wrist, swinging that right foot out towards the left side of the mat, and starting to walk the back leg further in space so that we bring the right hip closer to the earth, or as close as our body wants today. Take a moment to check your alignment. So hips are squared off to the front of the mat. Maybe you peek back at your foot. Toes are in line with the ankle, ankles in line with the knee, knees in line with the hips. You've got this long line from the hip all the way to the toe. We inhale to sit up nice and tall. Exhale, we start to crawl the belly towards the leg. Chest towards the earth. Maybe you draw the forehead all the way down to the mat, extending the arms out long. If that doesn't feel good today, you can always keep the elbows right underneath the shoulders, upper body in Sphinx pose. Or you can stack hand over hand, fist over fist, and rest the forehead. Another great pose for promoting restful sleep, because we're bringing the heart or the head below the heart space. We're active through both toes. We're having a full body experience here, even though we're in a resting posture. Stay for one more breath cycle. Full inhale, full exhale. Stay for the inhale, and exhale, we start to rise. Both hands come down to the mat. We curl the toes of the back foot. Lift the back knee, lifting from the hip. We draw the right foot back to meet the left. So you can get to the other side from 3 different places. You can get there here from plank. You can send the hips up and get there from downward facing dog. Or if it's more comfortable to get there from tabletop, you can do that too. Otherwise, we'll bring the left knee behind the left wrist, swinging that left foot over to the right edge of the mat. And we start to walk the back leg further back in space, bringing the left hip closer to the earth. Check your alignment, hips are squared off. Take a peek at your back leg. Long, beautiful line from the toes to the hips. We look forward, inhale to grow tall. Exhale, we start to bend from the hips, straightening the belly, chest, forehead, down to the mat. Finding your hand placement that works for you today. We're here for 2 more breath cycles, so make them count. Full inhales, full exhales. Your next exhale, we'll slowly start to bring ourselves up to an elevated position. We're going to get out of this a little bit differently than before. So we're going to come onto our bums. So the easiest way to do that is we're just going to shift onto the outside of that left hip, swinging that right leg around to meet us at the front. So when you get there, we're going to scooch forward just slightly so that we can come into a supine position. When you get there, on your back, knees up to the chest, excuse me. Wrapping the fingers around the shins, interlacing the fingers around the shins, or clasping each shin individually. Let the belly grow nice and heavy. Ribs are soft. Shoulders are drawn down to the mat so that we keep this opening in the chest. Stay for 1 more inhale. On the exhale, we gently drop both soles down to the mat. We bring the left sole as close to the left glute as possible, or as is comfortable, and press firmly into the triangle underneath our feet. The heel, the ball joint of the big toe, ball joint of the pinky toe, all the toes are touching the earth. We lift the right leg and bring the right ankle across the left thigh right above the knee. So we've got this figure 4 shape here. If this is enough for you today, that's great, stay here. Otherwise, we'll lift the left leg, bringing the shin parallel to the mat. And if this is enough, you can stay here. Or our final option is to interlace the fingers behind the left thigh and gently pull the left knee towards the nose. Notice where your body's telling you to stop. You can practice deciphering between a red flag and a point of tension and tightness. Belly is heavy, so the low back keeps us stable against the earth. That's our foundation. Both toes are active and pulling towards the shin. One more inhale and exhale, we release. Unraveling. Right sole comes to the mat. Right in line with the knee and on the line of the hip. We bring the left ankle over the right thigh just above the knee. Pressing firmly into the sole of that right foot. If this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, we lift the right leg, bringing the shin parallel to the mat. Both toes are active. And then lastly, we interlace the fingers behind the right thigh, gently pulling the knee towards the earth. You can always use that left elbow to press into the inner left thigh if you need a little bit more of a stretch in the glute, the outside of the hip. Belly is heavy, creating that wide foundation in the low back, the abdomen. Stay for one more inhale. Exhale, we gently drop the right foot down to the mat, connecting sole to the earth and then unraveling. Soles of the feet kiss together, heel to heel, arch to arch, toe to toe as we let the knees splay open. Usually I give you the option, but today let's send the tailbone towards the earth. So we rock the pelvis forward, bring the tailbone towards the earth, creating this slight back bend in the low back. Shoulder blades are snuggled right underneath the heart space. Chin drops slightly to the chest to keep length in the back of the neck. You can always bring yourself up on a pillow here behind the head if this is uncomfortable. You can also always bring supports to the outer thighs if this is uncomfortable on the inner groin. Stay for one more inhale. Exhale, hands come to the outside of the thighs as we gently help and guide the legs back together. Right knee comes up as we catch it interlaced with the fingers on the shin, and we send the left leg out long. Exhale, we pull the right knee towards the right shoulder. Exhale, we guide the right knee across the midline, taking it over to the left side, recline twist. You can bring the right arm out, parallel with the short edge of the mat, half T at your side. If you need a little more stretch in the leg, you can always straighten that right leg. Exaggerating that stretch in the hamstring, all the way up to the glute, the hip, the low back. We're still sending the breath down into the belly, the heart of this twist. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, we draw belly button to spine, using our center, our core to safely bring us through the midline as we take it to the other side. So left knee comes up. Right leg extends out long. We press through the sole of the right foot. We're active through the left toes. Exhale, we squeeze the left knee towards the left shoulder. And exhale, we guide the left knee across the midline, over to the right side of the mat, maybe straightening the left leg, if that feels good. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, belly button to spine, draws you back through center, and we send the left leg out towards the front of the mat to meet the right. Let's take one more collective breath together, full inhale. And a full exhale. If you have time to rest in Shavasana for a few extra minutes, I would definitely encourage you to do so. Otherwise, I hope that you come back to these movements of energy and also of promoting restful sleep, either with the pranayama breath work or any of our mild inversions. So anywhere we're bringing the head below the heart space, child's pose, forward fold, legs up the wall. Otherwise, if you don't have time to rest in Shavasana, I understand. That is the end of our practice today, and I will see you on Friday.